As I mentioned before, there are many misunderstandings concerning spiritual awakening, sabotaging your spiritual growth. Perhaps the most common myth is that the way to enlightenment leads through meditation. That's why you see millions of people spending thousands of hours meditating. But how many actually become enlightened? I guess very few. Meditation is tremendously helpful to achieve the witnessing state, but enlightenment cannot be achieved by meditation alone. This is a common myth that makes spiritual seekers meditate for decades, hoping for a breakthrough, yet nothing happens. On the one hand, materialistic people make the mistake of living too much in the world and forgetting about themselves. There is a perceived, but no perceiver. On the other hand, spiritual people make the mistake of denying the world and living too much within themselves. There is a perceiver, but no perceived. None of these approaches will bring you to oneness. What's needed is balance. It is not about denying the world, it is about transcending it. So, don't confuse this pure witnessing state with pure consciousness. This is not oneness yet, because your consciousness still contains a basic duality. There is still a perceiver separate from the perceived, and the event that connects the two, perceiving. In this state, there is you and the world. On the ultimate level, you are the world. Your task is to realize that the perceiver and the perceived are in fact one. To realize that what you sense, you also create. What you perceive, you also project. Only perceiving remains, but its nature is emptiness. First, you realize the illusion of the self, and then you realize the illusion of the world. There is no separate self, and there is no separate world. There is only you, and nothing else. Meditation only opens the gate to direct self-knowledge, but self-inquiry is what takes you through it. This is why I said that meditation is not enough for enlightenment, because it only clears the way to real knowledge. True knowledge arises from a state of not knowing. The mind is afraid of the unknown, because it is made up of the known. So it has a tendency to grasp for answers immediately the moment something unknown or unexplainable arises. But these hurried answers and false beliefs are exactly that prevent enlightenment, so the mind has to be put aside in this search. Meditation helps you accept that you don't know who you are. It helps you become comfortable in the state of not knowing. It helps you realize that you are nothing more than a perceiver. However, the perceiver can never be perceived, because then it would be just another perception. Then what do you really know about yourself if you can never perceive yourself? After meditation, you have to continue with self-inquiry to make the full circle. If I am neither the body, nor the energy, nor the emotions, nor the thoughts, nor the senses, nor the perceptions, nor the experiences, then who am I? What in the world am I? And what is this reality I call the world? Where am I? When am I? Who am I? The second biggest myth around enlightenment is that tremendous effort is needed, while the third myth is that no effort is needed at all. Then who is right? The answer lies again in balance. Some say decades of hard work is needed, while others claim you don't have to do anything, and both of them are right. You are already enlightened, you just have to realize it. Realization is not really an action or an effort, but if you cling to your false beliefs, it will never happen. In fact, you are already making an effort to prevent yourself from becoming enlightened. When are you ready to finally let your eyes open to truth? It depends only on you. So, what can you do and what can't you do to awaken? Spiritual enlightenment cannot be forced. If you want it, you won't succeed, because enlightenment is exactly the lack of wanting. Wanting to awaken is the last barrier to actually awaken. It is a natural process. and if you don't stand in its path, it will happen on its own. You can't alter your state of consciousness directly, only indirectly. Mind cannot control consciousness, because mind is also a part of it. For example, if you want to get drunk, you need something, namely alcohol, to make it happen. Making it happen is possible, but doing it is impossible. The most important changes in consciousness, like falling asleep, falling in love, having a dream, or meditating, do not work by giving an order. These are relaxed states, and if you strain yourself, they won't occur. Just try to go to sleep once by commanding yourself to sleep. Do you think it will happen? Do you think it? Ironically, falling asleep shares many similarities with waking up spiritually. You need an optimal attitude and optimal circumstances for both. What is needed for a good night's sleep? First of all, your attitude and preparedness, the set. Humans have a natural sleeping cycle. If you have just woken up from a refreshing sleep, it is almost impossible to go back again. If you drank coffee, you ate too much or too little, or if something hurts, it is also very hard to fall into sleep. If you are worried or stressed about something, your mind will not let you sleep well. Thus, your body and mind need to be comfortable, relaxed, and loose. But if your bed is hard, if it is too hot or too cold, you will have an equally hard time falling asleep, even if the set is perfect. This is the question of the setting, the circumstances, the situation you find yourself in. So, what is it that you can and can't do to wake up? Create the perfect set and setting, and leave the rest to existence. Be an intensive seeker, but be completely relaxed at the same time. This is similar to the state of flow, intense calmness, or relaxed attention. If you keep stressing out on wanting to sleep, you will never fall asleep. The same way, if you stress out on wanting enlightenment, you will never achieve it. Buddha became enlightened 1 week after letting go of the desire, and the same thing happened to Osho and many others. Although they were the most intensive spiritual seekers, they gave up meditation and every other practice after long years of work. Not knowingly, they created the perfect set and setting, and then trusted themselves to existence. For you, it is better not to be preoccupied with enlightenment at all. Instead, there has to be a burning desire for truth above everything else. And don't fabricate any preconceived ideas of this truth. Don't try to guess what enlightenment feels like, because I can guarantee you that it is beyond your imagination. Besides that, remain curious and open-minded, and promise yourself not to die before you get to know what life really is. In the next chapter, I'll speak about the 3 most common objections to spiritual enlightenment and why they're not true. For now, just think about this for a second. Which myth is holding you back?